All right, everybody, we are here today to talk about something new and exciting that I sincerely hope will be helpful to each and every one of you here. I'm going to share my screen. If at any point I'm talking about something and you do not see it reflected on the screen, please somebody unmute and let me know so I can make it right. I will be toggling between a slideshow presentation that is rather brief and also on Canvas to demonstrate what we're looking at here today. But today's information session is about a Canvas course template that is aligned with the CVC-Oei rubric. And if that title is a bit of a mystery to you, do not worry. I will explain everything very, very clearly, and we have plenty of time at the end or throughout this presentation for your questions. But let's go ahead and jump right in with a brief summary of what we're going to talk about today. First of all, I'm going to provide some context of why is this thing here? Why is this template available to us? And after that, we're going to talk about how it relates to that CVC-Oei standard that we're working towards. Next, I will provide an overview of how you can use this template in your Canvas class. And then we're going to hop into Canvas and we're going to take a tour of the template to see what it looks like and how it might be modified based on what you teach. And then we'll discuss some of the possible implications, so some of the possible things you can do within your program or within your department. And then at the very end, we are open for Q&A, either directly related to the template or other things, online teaching that may be on your mind at that moment. So let's carry on with a little bit of context. So walk with me for a moment on this one. I want you all to think back to when you were a brand new instructor at Long Beach City College. Maybe for some of y'all, it was recent. Maybe others, you've been here a long time. But think back to that first day as a new faculty, when you were on campus, that first day of the semester perhaps, and then you walk to your classroom and you open the door, assuming you have your own key by now, and you walk in only to find that there are no desks, no chairs, no whiteboard, no projector, no nothing. It is an empty room, as you see here on the slide. Now you are informed, okay, sure, yeah, we have desks for you. We have a whiteboard, we have projectors, all those things for you, but it's your job to find them and bring them into the classroom by yourself. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work. And in my mind, this is essentially what we're asking faculty to do when they begin with an empty Canvas shell, as you see here on the right. There's nothing in it. It is their job to build the modules, build the pages, build the assignments. And if you are brand new, a lot of these things, if not all of them, are being built from scratch. Now, we have trainings, we have support for you. We will teach you how to do these things, but I became very aware this past winter when many faculty came to me and said, Michael, I'm trained, I'm certified to teach online, but I've never actually had to teach an asynchronous class. How do I start? How do I build out a module in time for the semester, which for some folks was coming up very quickly? So this is the context that got me thinking we need to have a fully fleshed out Canvas template so that faculty no longer need to fill the digital classroom all by themselves. So this really was the motivation for what we're going to talk about today. So what is a template? A template is, in this case, I'll say, a model that online instructors can put into their class that has a fully built structure. Now, we have a lot of disciplines in the chat. We have sociology, philosophy, geology, nutrition and dietetics. In the template, there's not going to be any geology content. There's not going to be any nutrition content. It is general enough that it can be utilized no matter what subject you teach. There are assignments, but it's your job to obviously write an assignment that pertains to your subject matter. There are quizzes built, but it is your job to build the questions within those quizzes that I have made. And to clarify, the template is not a substitute or a waiver for online teaching certifications. Unless you are brand new to the institution, I will assume that everyone here has completed the online pedagogy and the Canvas LMS trainings. But when new faculty come on board, I actually strongly advise that they complete their trainings before using this template, so they have an understanding of how Canvas works. And then, of course, this Canvas is optional. You all know me, I am not a one-size-fits-all online teaching kind of trainer. What works for your discipline may not work for mine, and that is okay. You can use this template, the entire thing. You can use a little bit of it, or if you don't like it, you don't have to use it at all. It is completely up to you. So who is this designed for? Well, I'd say everybody. So new instructors, clearly, right? So we have that new instructor first day. Maybe they were an emergency hire right before the semester started. That's how I was hired. I was hired on a Friday to start teaching on a Monday. Of course, this was years ago. At the last minute sort of thing. And if Canvas is new, using this template will save a lot of that work that's involved of just creating pages. So this way, faculty can focus on building really engaging content instead of the time required to build a whole bunch of pages within their modules. Secondly, you might already be an experienced instructor. Maybe you're still kind of new to online teaching. Maybe the pandemic is what started you online, and that's great. But again, this tool can help save you time. So you can focus on that really engaging pedagogy, not so much time focusing on the Canvas techie side of things. And then finally, the last bullet, if you've been teaching online for a long time, that's great. Hats off to you. And even still, this template can be a tool for you as you continue to align your course with the CVC-Oei course design rubric. About that rubric, let me clarify what that means. That stands for the California Virtual Campus Online Education Initiative. This is a statewide program through the Chancellor's Office for all California community colleges. And the CVC-Oei course design rubric provides best practices for online courses. There are 4 categories within this rubric: A, B, C, and D. And actually, you know what? You have this link. And these are linked, or these are hyperlinks within the slideshow. If I click on one, this takes me to the actual course design rubric. It's 19 pages long. It's a lot of information. But you can get a sense of the different standards that are in this document. So do you have objectives? What kind of learner support is taking place? Instructor contact, accessibility, and so on. There are 44 elements on this design rubric. That's a lot. That is a lot to think about. That can be overwhelming to think about, especially for a brand new or relatively new online instructor. So back to the slide, the template that I'm sharing with you today already has many of these elements built into it. So you don't have to worry about it so much. It's already put into it. Your job is just to make it your own with curriculum and your course content. Now, here's two reasons why that's important. One, the CVC-Oei rubric standards and practices has been associated with increased student learning and increased student success and retention. So it's just good practice. But from an evaluative standpoint, in the faculty contract for full-time faculty, the online course checklist for our evaluations is derived from this rubric. Again, for full-time faculty in the room, I'm looking at the contract now. And these standards, these items from our contract, Section B, Section C, and Section D, accessibility, directly correlate with the rubric. So again, using the template or even elements from the template will bring you closer to alignment with what is in our contract and what is in the statewide rubric. So just throwing in some additional incentives if this is enticing to you. And yes, I will put the slideshow back in the chat at the end of the presentation. Yes, I saw that in the chat. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do two things. So I'm going to introduce you to a companion guide right here, right now. And you can do the following you can do the same by clicking the link in this slide. But it occurred to me that I can't just say, here's a template, good luck. So I wrote up a companion guide for you. This has been shared already with many faculty, but actually today's the day when I want to push it out to anybody who's interested in it. And this companion guide, it walks you through step by step, whether you are brand new, whether you've been teaching a while, it shows you exactly what you need to do. So here's what I'll do. I will put this in the chat immediately. 1 second. There you go. And you can see, and we have navigation on the right. It summarizes what this is for, who this is for, a lot of the points I'm covering in this presentation, and then where you can get help, how to use this resource. And then it walks you through step by step. How do you import the template into your Canvas course? Here's the steps, and here's a video on how to do that thing. And by the way, should have mentioned this earlier, my apologies. As it stands now, the template is 100% accessible. So you are starting from the most accessible you can get. So as you bring in your own content and curriculum, it is your job to ensure that it maintains as much accessible content as you possibly can. But again, I break it down for you. If you feel comfortable working without this companion, more power to you. But I've had some faculty who piloted this, who are relatively newer, and they said it was actually really helpful to just see the steps and then also have videos that demonstrate how to do what you need to do. So again, this is for you. It is a living document. It is a Google Doc. So at times, I may go in and add or modify something based on a need, but that will help you from step 1 to, well, I don't know, I was going to say step Z. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. It will help you the entire time. So let's talk about importing the template from Canvas Commons. Again, my companion guide shows you how to do this. I have a video that shows you how to do this, but instead of like pressing play and sitting back and relaxing, I'm just going to show you all right here, right now. That just makes more sense. So to do that, I'm going to go to Canvas. And as I always do, I'm going through the Viking portal. And I don't know about you, but for me, I recently had my my fall 2022 class shells created and put in here into my Canvas dashboard. Here's one of them, fall 2022. And again, looking at it, look, we have the empty classroom, no chairs, no desks, no whiteboard, no nothing, just in a digital space. So I've been teaching online for a while. Usually I would just import what I did last semester into this upcoming semester. But to demonstrate using the templates, I'm going to do this slightly differently. Let me show you. On the left-hand side, in your global navigation here, there is a button. You may have never clicked it before, and that's okay, but it is called Commons. That's where you begin. And before you do so, it's important to note the number that you are wishing to put the template into. So 70952. Gonna remember that. So I will click on Commons. And if you've never used Commons before, think of it like a digital library, but instead of books or articles, it's Canvas content that other instructors at Long Beach City College have chosen to share. You'll notice a couple of things. Well, there's quite a few, and some of them are featured, these first 3 in this top row. And the first one that is featured is the template we are referring to, Canvas course template aligned with CVC-Oei rubric. So all you need to do is click on that. And then come to the right-hand side, click import/download. And here, these are all the courses from my Canvas dashboard. I only want the new one for fall 2022. So Anthro 4, that's the class. This is the section number. I remembered that. I'll put a check right there. And then I will scroll down. I have a lot of courses, and click import into course. Bingo. So now I get to sit back and relax while the import takes place. It might take a couple minutes. That's okay. But as we do that, I will return to my slideshow, because what you just saw is it. That's how you import it. What I recommend, if you teach multiple sections of the same course, I suggest you put the templates into one of them, or even more ideal, within an empty sandbox shell, one that doesn't actually have any students in it. And that's where you're going to fill in your content. That's where you're going to put your videos, your slides, your images, your assignments, what have you. Once you've built it out the way that you like, then you can duplicate or copy that to the other sections of the same course. So That's what I'm demonstrating to you, just putting the template into one single Canvas shell. I see something in the chat. Grace asked, is this importing process different from importing using the setting function? Yes, it is, Grace, because I'm importing from the Canvas Commons. But once you have a course that you have built, then you would use the settings option within the Canvas course to import it, let's say from what you taught last semester into what you're teaching this semester. So yeah. All right, so I'm going back to Canvas to see if that import finished. I'm checking my course list. Let's see where to go. There's the new one, fall 22. And look at that. Looks like the import went through. All right, so before I dive in too much, hang on, let me go back on how to use this. I skipped the first bullet point. I should say, this is probably not something to do midway through your semester with an existing class. I recommend this be a summer project as you prepare for fall classes. Doing this in the middle of a currently existing class, it's going to be challenging, right? You're going to be juggling new content with old content and trying to merge pages, and that's very, very difficult. Third bullet point down, the companion guide that I shared with you, you might find it really helpful to have that open while you are using the template within Canvas. Fourth, when you import, you'll notice there's a lot of content highlighted yellow. That's the section, or those are the sections that are intended for you to put in your own content. So my companion guide reminds you of that all the time. Make sure to replace the highlighted yellow content with your own ideas. So let me show you on the home page what this looks like. This is the default home page. It is plain, it is generic, but that is intentional. The goal here, as I just mentioned, anything highlighted yellow, you are going to come in, click that edit button on the home page, and you come on in and you put in your course name, the semester, a welcome message to your students, provide guidance for how they can begin. And these navigation links are functional. They will take students to different places, but if you want to make some buttons, more power to you. Or you can keep them simply like this, or you can add additional ones if you have a need to. Further down, the course is created by professor. Put your name here, put your title here, your contact info. You can link it to your LBCC program. So for me, I provide a link to Long Beach City College Anthropology on the school website. And then I also like to provide a link to my syllabus right there so that students get all that information straight from the home page. But again, this is very simple, rather generic, and that's the point. Whether you teach sociology, whether you teach, nutrition and dietetics, history, what have you, this can be used in your course for your home page, and it will hit the essential marks of a home page. I'm going to cancel that. Okay. Oops, sorry, skipped ahead. So let's see. Let's take a look at some specific areas within the template. So I'm back at the home page. I like to put a button that says, that's very clear how to begin. Class content. This is just a link to the modules page. I can direct my students to click modules too, but hey, why not? Click class content. Perfect. So check this out. Take a look. there are, in this shell, fully built 16 weeks worth of modules. So if you are teaching a 16-week asynchronous course, this is ready to go for you to put your content into. All the links are functional. I'll show you what's in these pages in a minute. But let's say you're only teaching a 12-week or an 8-week class. That's okay. Just delete the modules you don't need. So if you don't need week 16, click the 3 buttons and you can click delete it to get rid of it. All right, so you can adjust this for whatever length you have for the class. But let me scroll up. Let's see. Let me scroll up. Oh, I see a question in the chat. Is it recommended that the font selected in the template be maintained? Let's see. I see the outsets, but no logo image. Is that too a recommended practice? No, Larry, I kept things incredibly generic so that they can be modified based on an individual instructor's preferences. So yeah, the Long Beach City College logo, some nice images on that home page, like a picture of yourself even. Those are all perfectly in order. Whatever the individual wants to put in there. Yes. All right, so one best practice from the CVC-Oei rubric is providing guidance and orientation for what students are to do to begin the course, right? So that's what this first module is. It's a course orientation module. And you'll notice here, I did something a little sneaky, but I do this in my actual class. I set up module requirements that students need to complete all the items, in the sense, view, these pages. And I set a prerequisite for the week 1 actual content that students cannot begin the week 1 content until they have viewed all the pages in the course orientation. Now that's helpful because I ask students to review the syllabus. And then at the end of week 1, they take a quiz that in my class has a lot of content checking. Did you actually read the syllabus? So putting that requirement and prerequisite is one way to guarantee that they at least look at these different pages. So then just one thing that I like to do that's already built in to the template here. But let's take a look at these pages. You'll notice some of them are unpublished. See here on the right? That means that it's not visible yet to students, but others are published. That green check means that a student would be able to see it. That is intentional. Anything that is unpublished, you need, in the template, you need to go in and add your own information. Anything that is already published, it is generic enough where any student in any class could look at it and be just fine. Okay, so let me show you exactly what that looks like with the first page. Class orientation, start here. As I mentioned, there's yellow highlighted text for you to add in your own ideas. This first page, I know a lot of online faculty like to do a video that welcomes students to the class. Many will provide a demonstration of, hey, here's what you do in Canvas. Here's what the textbook looks like. Here's my academic background, right? Others use a slideshow or just type out the instructions, and that's okay too. So whatever that orientation looks like, it can be put here. And then every page has a prompt. You click next to continue. I like that. In my class, my golden rule, as I call it to my students, is to follow the modules in order. So I'm really big on the next button. So they click next to commence. And here is an unpublished Meet Your Professor page. Again, a lot is highlighted in yellow. That's on you to put in your own content. Same thing as the communication plan. You want to adjust that, right? So you want to be realistic. You also want to try and be student-centered, so students have multiple ways of contacting you. Also, students need to know what your expected turnaround time is for a response, right? So, you should hear from me within 48 hours as one example. And then even something like technical help. This can be left as is. The Student Technology Help Desk, Canvas Help, and also the Quest for Online Student Success. So a lot of the things in the template can be left alone, and great, it's less for you to have to worry about. And then of course we click next to continue. Now this brings us to one of the pages in this module that was published. It features a pretty long list of resources for students. All these links are functional. All the information is current to the best of my ability. And again, if you see something missing, you can certainly add it within your class. But this is another thing that is ready to go. It can be kept as is. So click next to continue. So now you don't have to go searching around for the links and the phone numbers and so on. Course practices and policies. This is really up to you. And of course, the class that you teach, of the grade scales, the late work policy, online participation, netiquette. Some of them have links, like the drop withdrawal deadlines takes the students to the page that will give them that information. So a lot of it is built in, but it's worth mentioning, classroom norms and values, collegiality is an example. Standards, code of conduct. So you can put anything here that counts as a practice or policy. Click next. And then Student Hangout Forum. This is another best practice that we're pulling from the CVCOEI, where students have multiple ways to interact with each other that is not necessarily tied to a grade, right? So this is an ungraded discussion for students to have a conversation, share something, try and organize a study group. And it also has included instructions for how students can send a direct message to another student. So maybe they don't want to post something publicly, but they wish to message a classmate within Canvas to organize a study session. So that information is here too. Again, this is all ready to go for you. Clicking next lets you know orientation module is complete. So they can now commence to the week 1 module, which has the prerequisite that they needed to do these things first and move forward. So again, there's, I'd say, about half of these pages would be your responsibility to fill in with your content, but then the other half are ready to go as is, or you can change them up if you want to. You might want to add some more pages here, and that's great. That is okay. But now let's get into the actual module and what that looks like. Per the CVC-Oei, they provide a lot of guidance on content presentation. And you'll notice here, I've created 1, 2, 3, 4 content pages. Every week has that same structure, 4 content pages. Week 3, 4 content pages. Depending on what you teach, how you deliver that content, you might feel that that's too many. You might feel that that's too few. That's okay. If you need more, simply you can go in and you can duplicate it, and you can create more copies of a page, or you can simply remove it if you don't need that many within a given module. You can also feel free, this is what I do, is my students will typically visit one content page and then do an assignment. So I like to click and drag so it's sequential. So content page, assignment, content page, click and drag, discussion. Something like that is perfectly in order as well. But I'll just return those for the moment. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see what's in store here. Every week begins with the same objectives and goals page. Check this out. Again, anything in yellow, it's up to you to fill in with your own ideas and commentary. Again, this is week 1, so there might not be very content heavy items here. That's okay. Maybe it's more focused on getting to know students, orienting them to the class, introducing, what have you. But either way, we have set up some ideas here that may be helpful so that students know what's in store. You can write about the activities that they will be doing or they will be expected to do. You can also, in fact, I strongly urge that you incorporate the learning objectives for the course. And we can refer to the course outline record and list any learning objectives that are reflected in this module. Again, if you haven't used this before, that's okay. You click on it, and it's real simple. Just search for your class, Anthro 4. This is my class. And I click on the outcomes. And these are the outcomes and objectives. And I will literally, in some cases, find a couple of them that pertains to the lesson and just copy and paste them into this page right here so that students and me know this is why we're doing what we're doing. It aligns with my course outcomes and objectives. So this is something you can do on every single week. And then you'll notice here, this contact me button, where do you think that goes? That goes to the Meet Your Professor page within that orientation module that has your communication plan, your contact info, and all of that. So these links are functional. Now, as you work with a template, if you switch things around, that is okay. But do be sure to check those links, make sure that they are working for you. And then, of course, the student clicks next to begin. And this is what each content page looks like. It is all highlighted yellow. It's up to you. But what I did to maintain accessibility is I created headings, properly formatted lists, and subheadings within the page. And I urge you to use a variety of multimedia, text, audio, video, slides, images, however you choose to present your curriculum. This is where we want to do it. Also, in alignment with the CVC-Oei, provide some sort of guidance on how students are to interact with the material. So when you present a video to them, direct them to take notes or look for certain things within that video, or be ready to share their ideas in response to it in a future discussion forum. So something like that would be considered as appropriate guidance. And again, that's how these content pages are built, right? So they're ready for you to bring in whatever content you may desire. Content week 1, content page 2, page 3, it's the same. And again, that's how it is every single week. Those content pages are ready for your information. So let's skip down to an assignment. The assignment in the modules follow the transparent assignment template. Anyone here who's been through the cultural curriculum audit, you're probably familiar with that. You may remember it. Perhaps you use it already. But again, everything in yellow, that's for you to put in your own ideas. What's the task? What do they need to do to succeed? And it's okay. You may find that not every assignment requires this much detail. That's okay. Something, a bit broader, like a term paper or a portfolio, maybe you need more information than what is here. So these can certainly be adjusted based on your needs. One thing I added here to every single assignment is a feedback turnaround commitment. This is something that I've done in my classes, and I urge you to be realistic with yourself and your workload when putting a turnaround or expected turnaround time. Maybe you need a few days, maybe you need a week. If it's a big project, maybe you need a little longer. But I also like to tell my students, what can they expect from me? Maybe you don't use all of these elements. That's okay. Just adjust this as you feel is necessary. But this link will take them to the grade book. This link will show them how to view their rubric results. And below, every single assignment in this template has the following rubric. It's out of 10 points, and you can adjust this. It is rather general, so it can be modified easily. Just click the pencil. Click OK. And you can adjust the points. You can click the trash can to remove some elements. Or if you really don't want to use it, then just delete the whole thing. Just click the trash can and you can start from scratch. But as of when you get it, every single assignment will have this rubric built in. And that's helpful when you're in the grade book, as you can go through it and use this for your reviews. Okay, this is a lot, and we're getting low on time. So I'm going to skip down. The discussion forum is very comparable to what you just saw. Of course, you may know the rubric is hidden up here. So there's a rubric asking for an initial post and a classmate reply. Every discussion in the course has this already built in. And then there's a remedial or practice assignment. And this is designated for 0 points. And maybe you want to add points to it. Maybe you don't do this and you just delete it. That's okay. But a lot of instructors provide remedial enrichment opportunities, and that's wonderful. So just offering it here, and that is okay. However you choose to use it. And then lastly, there's a quiz. Obviously, I don't teach your classes, so I wouldn't have any idea of what questions to write. So that's up to you. But you can adjust the annotations here. You can talk about what is assessed, how many questions, the time limit. This link to the gradebook is good to go, etc. So again, every week has a quiz, and maybe you like to give quizzes or tests, every couple of weeks or once a month. However you choose to do that is fine. For me, I tend to do this every single week is a quiz, and it's the same questions that I would put on a bigger exam anyway. And then finally, by the end, week 1 module complete, just a celebratory, hey, you did it, good job. And that is that. So you get a sense of how it works on every single module for the 16 weeks. One final note that I will make, and then I'm going to stop talking and ask for questions, is regarding the announcements in the class, in the template, rather. I wrote, 18 announcements that are ready to go for you. Your job, as always, let's say week 1, work due tonight, is go into the announcement, click the delay posting button, and so that the release date of this announcement correlates with your course calendar. And then, of course, this will take students to what is due. They can contact you if they have questions. This is something I do every single week, so they know what's coming, they know what to expect. And those reminders seem to really, really help them out. So you can adjust these announcements or delete them all and create your own from scratch. That is okay. So lastly, and then I want to take questions, some implications for Canvas templates. One thing we're working on in anthropology is creating a template for an entire course. And it's something you might want to think about in your program as well. This is an example where this template is specific to cultural anthropology. And obviously it has the banner here, but any instructor teaching anthropology can utilize this template. One thing that I really like about it, and that we're currently working on, is that the free textbook is embedded within the course. So any instructor teaching cultural anthropology already has the textbook ready to go on Canvas. Again, it saves our instructors a lot of time. It saves the students a lot of money. So if this is something you might be interested in with your program, then feel free to reach out to me, and I can work with you on getting this set up in an order for you. So that was a lot. I didn't know it would take that long, but I want to pause and take some questions. I see some in the chat. Let's see. But you know what? Let's do this. I see a couple of private messages in the chat. But if anyone has questions, please feel free to unmute, raise your hand, whatever suits you. Larry, I see you. The question is the default for students to deliver each announcements to them via an email, or do they manually set up their account so they receive announcements as they're posted? I see. So the default, Larry, is that when we post an announcement, it will get pushed to the student's email. However, students, I found, sometimes turn that off, sometimes inadvertently turn that off, or sometimes it goes to an email that is no longer current for them. So there could be a number of reasons why they're not seeing those announcements. So I'm grateful that you show a video on how to do that, because I think that's important. Other questions? Comments? Let's see. Oh, Erica, I see that. Thank you. Okay, I see two things in the chat. First, the syllabus quiz is part of the week 1 module. Yes, so this is my class. Obviously in the template, there's no questions, but in my class, in week 1, students, they don't learn much about anthropology at all. They learn about how to succeed in my class. They learn about each other. They learn about Canvas even, and their syllabus. So the week 1 quiz is assessing how carefully they went through the syllabus document. Yes. Gerardo, thank you for the question. How do you add confetti to the end of an assignment? I believe that's default. That's something turned on institution-wide. It used to be something that we'd have to turn on ourselves, but my understanding is it is every single course, every assignment. You submit it and yeah, you get confetti, and I think some balloons even too. Let's see, Shola, I see in the chat. Thank you. Ziad, thank you. Let's see. Okay, Donna, I see you. Thank you. Sarah, wonderful. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. It's 10:55. I'm going to go ahead and call it a workshop. I'm going to stop the recording now.